Hello, it is April the 2nd, 2016, and this is Wes Fryer. And this evening, my son, Alexander, gave me some lessons on Snapchat, and I actually got a tweet from our Oklahoma Senator Stephanie Bice asking for some help. And my first recommendation was to get a teenager, but I thought I might just go ahead and record a quick screencast to show the very limited knowledge that I have with Snapchat, and that might be of assistance to others. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my iPhone here to Snapchat. And first off, I'll see that there is a little 2 in the corner, which means I've received 2 new updates for Snapchat. And here we go. So now we're seeing an infinite number of screens here as I show my Snapchat screen. First thing to realize is that you can swipe with your thumb to see some of the screens. So I'm going to swipe and push my screen over to the right. And what this does is it brings up my friends list, and I can see that I've received different things. So I think the red square there means that I have received a picture for my daughter, but I've not seen it yet because it's filled in. And then the little text thing, I think, means that I have a text chat that my friend Paula in Lubbock sent me, and I haven't seen it yet either. But the things that are filled in are ones, or sorry, the ones that are not filled in are things that I haven't seen. So let's take a look at what Sarah did. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. And I can tap and that'll go away. When you create a Snapchat, you decide how long. Oh, you know what that was? It was because I Snapchatted her a picture of the rental car that Alexander and I have tonight, and it's her dream car. So it's a VW Jetta. So let's talk about that. Well, okay. So these are people that are in Snapchat. If I go down here, these are all folks that I have added, and when you pull down, it's going to update. Okay. So here I am on the sending Snapchat. If I wanted to, and I don't really want to show myself right now, I could click in the upper right corner and I could flip the camera around. So instead of showing my screen, I would show my front-facing camera and I could show myself. But let me go ahead and I'm going to take a picture. So I'll tap on the little circle here, and so that's going to take a picture. I wonder why it did that. I don't know why that did that. Notice that there's a 4 here in the corner. So this is how long the Snapchat picture is going to be visible. So you can do up to 10 seconds. I think the default might be 8. I did 4. The next icon that you see here is the download. So if I tap on that, it actually saves that picture to my photo roll. I can add another shot by clicking on this box, and that's going to let me add to my story. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click cancel, but that's how I can add to my story. And then if I want to add some text, I can tap up here on the T, and then I can say recording a Snapchat screencast. And so when this first goes on, it's just going to be there in the middle. If I tap on the T again, it's going to get large, and I can tap it again to center it. And then I can move this. I can also pinch it with my fingers. I can't rotate it, I guess. But I can move it around. And so anyway, that's a way that I can just do some little annotation with my text. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little arrow in the bottom right corner, and this is how I send my Snapchat. Now, if I wanted to specifically send this to a person, like if I wanted to send that to my wife, I could tap there on her or on her name. But then I'm also going to add this to something called my story. So something that Snapchat lets you do is it lets you have a story that is a series of pictures and or videos, and you can, if you want to, let anyone see those if you set your privacy settings up that way. So when I click here in the bottom right corner now, it is going to go ahead and send that story both to my wife, Shelly, and then it's also putting it on my story. Okay, so in order to get to this screen, we basically swiped and pushed our screen over. We're in the center screen of Snapchat now. Again, pushing over to the right gives us all of our users that are, friends and people that we've put on Snapchat. I'm going to go ahead and pull down now on Snapchat. And so what this does is a couple things. Number one, The screen there that has the Snapchat ghost and then all those dots is actually a screen that people can copy or it can scan like a QR code. So if you are with somebody and you want to let them add you to Snapchat and they don't have your, just a fast way is to open up the app, swipe down, and then they're going to be able to scan that. So they can tap on add friends, and that's one way to get them or to add them. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on add friends and see where it says add by snap code. I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say add by snap code and tap a photo with a snap code to add that. Well, that's interesting. So I guess you take a picture of that and then you'll be able to add it. And nearby would be if there's people that are on the same Wi-Fi. I'm going to click add from address book. And so what this does is if you go ahead and authorize it, it shows you all the people that you have in your address book. And so all these people here at the top are folks who are on Snapchat with the phone number or the email address that I have in my address book for them. Then below that are the people who aren't on Snapchat, but I could go ahead and add them. So I could, if I wanted to, I could add those people. And depending on the privacy settings, they may have to add me in order to for us to be able to send messages back and forth. But let's talk a little bit about this story. So how did I get to this screen? From the center Snapchat screen here, I just pushed down, and now I have a little, I guess, gear icon. It's supposed to be the settings icon up here in the upper right. And so I can see things here as far as my settings. And what I want to point out is that somewhere here, there we go, there is view my story. So I'm going to tap on that. Now I have set mine so that anyone who connects to me on Snapchat can view my story, which is this public thing that will be it's a collection, a montage of images and videos, and it's going to expire in 24 hours. And I guess we probably got to view the story to see it. But by default, it's going to be there under my friends. You also can go to custom, and then you can decide, like you can block friends from seeing your story if you wanted to. So anyway, that allows Snapchat to be in not just an individual, not just a one to a defined many messaging app, but also something that lets you, share media stories with more folks. Okay, so let me get out of settings. Let's take a look at my story. So I'm going to push up to get out of this screen, and then I'm going to again swipe to the right. No, actually I didn't want to do that. This time I'm going to swipe to the left. So we've swiped to the left to show that screen. I swipe down to show you this screen that's on the top. Now I'm going to swipe to the left. I'm going to push my screen with my finger to the left side, and here we're going to be able to see my story as well as the stories of others. So I'm going to first show you my story, what I have so far. So I'm going to tap on my story. So here's the first picture, and this is going to just play unless I tap. If I tap on the screen, it's going to auto advance to the next one. And Alexander and I are here in Wooster, Ohio, and we went to a yummy pizza place, and so I just took a few pictures of pizza, but you're actually going to see, and I'm letting this play through. So there's the menu. You're actually going to see snow because, oh my gosh, it actually snowed tonight. So here we are waiting for the famous pizza pie. Okay, now here I am actually outside where the snow is coming. Oh, and I tapped it and it went off. What I wanted to show you was that you can turn the audio on. And and that is called face swap. That's crazy. So that lets us swap our faces. All right, so anyone, because I have my privacy setting this way, there's the snow on our car after we got out. Anybody who wants to, who is connected to me on Snapchat, can actually view, and there's the view outside our hotel window. They can view this story. I don't have to directly send any of this to them. They can see that. And there's the last thing that I put on, recording the screencast. So your story can be as long as you want to. It expires in 24 hours, but it is the way to use Snapchat to be publicly sharing things with folks when you don't have to individually send it to them. So here's a recent update. Our daughter Rachel, if I go ahead and tap on this, has done a Snapchat, and so she just showed that she doesn't have any homework. Now this is pretty cool because my kids have been using Snapchat a lot, and I'll tell you, in fact, over here on the screen, the reason that one of the things that motivated me today to learn more about Snapchat was this article by Matthew Ingram, who's a journalist I really like to follow. He used to work for GigaOM, and I follow him on Flipboard. And so this was a March 31st article that he wrote called Snapchat's Ultimate Goal Isn't Just Chat, It's Total Media Domination. And so he's talking a lot about the new features that Snapchat has added, and really just got me thinking more about Snapchat. Now I need to learn more about it. So that's kind of the reason why we're doing this here today. In addition to seeing my story here, and again, how did I get to this? In the center screen of Snapchat, I'm pushing over with my finger. I'm pushing the screen over to the left. That allows me to see my story. And then at the top, you can see that I can discover different channels. And then I also have live things. Now, this happens to be the night of the Final Four, and Oklahoma got beat by Villanova. So if I tap on that, it will load this up, and I've already seen this. And so it's going to play through. Now, I can tap, I'm manually, oh, okay, wow, this has been updated big time since the last time. Oh, isn't that sad? The largest margin of victory in Final Four history. That's sad for Oklahoma. So these are curated Snapchat videos and pictures that people have sent in. And man, so when I watched this earlier, it was more of a recap of the game. Now this is all the Villanova fans, that are celebrating. Okay, so that is curated by the Snapchat administrators. And those are things that are live that are going on, just kind of depending on what's happening. But it's kind of cool. So it's sort of a way to view live news. I'm going to click up here now on Discover on the National Geographic Channel. And this is really neat because there's different articles and links that they've shared. So if I'm interested in this, I can flip up. And then there's going to be this video that's longer that I can see from National Geographic, which I think they're actually paying to be able to do. I can also flip this to the next one and see. And this is a did you know about the largest spider in the world? Okay, that's just kind of a picture. But now here's the photo of the day from National Geographic. And if I push up, now I can view that article. Now, I haven't figured out yet, I don't know if on a regular account you can do this with a story. I don't think you can. I think this is something that National Geographic is able to do because they are National Geographic and they're paying to be in this discovery area. So how do I get out of this? I guess I just push it down. So there are more things that I can discover there. And if I tap on that corner, you can see they've got a bunch of different channels. So I can go and discover those. So if I want to view any of the stories of anybody else, here's Shannon Miller, favorite librarian, educator, friend. So she's talking about Happy Poetry Month. And so she's saying can scan that code and see that is her story right now. Here's my daughter Sarah. So she was doing some coffee before her rehearsal this morning. And then her friend loves Cane's fries. And then they came up to beside them in their car at Cane's. All right, so those are people's stories. All right, so let's review. I guess I didn't show how to share a video. If you want to share a video, you will, instead of just pushing the big circle there at the bottom, you're going to actually hold it down. And so when you hold it down, that's recording a video. When I let go, then I have the opportunity to do the same kind of sharing before. I can go ahead and click on this arrow next. If I want to add it to my story, I will tap here. If I want to send it to an individual, I'll do that. And then I click that bottom right corner and then it would send to both of those. I actually don't want to do this. I'm going to just tap on the X here and I'm going to cancel that out. So those are the basics of Snapchat as I have learned them tonight. Thank you, Alexander, for teaching me about it. And I guess one other thing I'll say is that there's one way that they're monetizing Snapchat, and I think sorry, I'm in the wrong album here. I took a picture of it. Replays. Snapchat will allow you to have one replay, but then you can buy them. And so, you need to be careful when you're getting a Snapchat from somebody not to tap the screen, because if you tap it, it will actually go to the next image or video in that series, and it won't let you go back to it. So anyway, but if you want to, you can buy replays, and that's interesting. That's a way that they are actually monetizing Snapchat. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. If you are interested in following me on Snapchat. You can scan that code, and I guess I'm going to be playing a little bit more with Snapchat in the days to come. Of course, I'm oftentimes on Twitter, much more often than I'm on Snapchat. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm W. Fryer on Twitter. Thanks for watching.